Today we're going to be doing some interactive farm practice. You'll hear the problem, do your math, and then we'll check it together. So we're going to go over some basic tips for success and do some practice problems together. Again, you'll hear the problem, pause and do your math, and then meet me back to go over the math. So here are some must-know tips for you to really knock out your math questions. You may already know some of these, but it doesn't really hurt to get a quick refresher, right? So first and foremost, make sure that you read the question. See what it's asking you. What's the unit of measurement being used? What's the order, including dose and frequency of the medication? That is super, super important. Do you need to convert measurements like from grams to milligrams or pounds to kilograms? Okay. Make sure that you label everything so you don't lose track of what you're doing, okay? Do it throughout your problem. If you had to convert a unit of measurement, make sure that you keep using the converted unit so you don't revert backwards. Super easy to get confused if you don't. Also, and this is easily the most important step, I can't stress this enough, check your work. Make sure the answer is labeled and that you're actually answering the question. Some problems will have multiple questions, and I know I used to have to go back a lot. OCD would kick in and I would have to make sure that I hit on every single thing. Did you round correctly, if at all? Is this what the question's asking? And then we go right back to the same round of questioning that we had in the beginning of this. So even though going back to reread the question can be time consuming, it's definitely helpful in the long run and can save you some very valuable points. So let's take a quick look at the medication routes that we're going to be working with. Oral medications, obviously, very plain and simple. They're either in liquid or pill form. Really no surprises there, right? Now, IM injections, intramuscular injections. This is where things can get a little tricky, particularly when we're talking about maximum doses to give in the syringe. So here are the 3 recommended sites. Okay, we have the deltoid site, we have the ventrogluteal site, and then we have the vastus lateralis site. Very simply put, your upper arm, midway between your hip and your thigh. Your hip and your femur and your quads, in that order, okay? We also have the dorsal gluteal muscle, which is the buttocks, but it's not an ideal spot because it sits so close to the sciatic nerve and the gluteal artery, and you'll really have a mess on your hands if you hit one of those, okay? The biggest thing that you want to know is maximum amount of medication that you're allowed to give in each place. So in the deltoid, we cannot give more than 2 mLs of medication. In the ventrogluteal, it's a little bit more, but we can't give any more than 2.5 mLs. And then in the vastus lateralis, you can't go over 5 mLs, okay? So this is right here, the quads, really where you really want to put it if you can, okay? If you must use the butt, you have to remember that the max is 4 mLs. So enough of the technical stuff, let's do some math. That's what you came here for. So first we're going to look at basic formula. This is what we're going to work with, okay? There are several different methods out there, but basic formula is exactly as advertised, guys. It's very basic and straightforward. It very simply is desired over have times vehicle. And this equals the amount that you want to give. What this means is your desired is your ordered dose, okay? What you have is what you have on hand. And then the vehicle, very simply, is going to be how does the drug come? So is it a tablet, liquid, or a capsule? And again, you're going to have to be labeling, so you shouldn't forget this, okay? Most of what we do in this lesson is actually going to use this formula at some point. So let's take a quick look at an example. Now, first off, not every question is going to be worded this way. Some are a little bit more wordy, but for our purposes here and for time's sake, this is going to be our best way to do it, okay? So remember the tips and tricks that we reviewed at the beginning of the lesson. Take a look at what the question is asking. In this case, the question is asking how many tabs does the patient get per dose? Okay, so we're looking at how many tabs. So already we have a unit of measurement that we should be looking at, okay? But now take a look at the actual unit of measurement. We have grams and milligrams. Clearly, those don't match. The medication is ordered in grams. We have milligrams on hand. So the first thing that you want to do is convert. One thing that you need to remember about converting, especially when it comes to the unit of measurement, is that you want to convert to what you have. Yes, you want to convert to what you have, okay? So in this particular case, we are going to convert 0.5 grams to milligrams, okay? Because what we have, the dose that we have on hand is in milligrams, okay? So if you go ahead and try that out, you should get 500 milligrams, okay? We're just moving the decimal point over 2 spaces, okay? So now that we have the right measurements, we can actually do a little bit of work. So again, remember, we're using basic formula here, so it's desired over have times vehicle. Okay, you can always break this down a little bit easier for yourself as well. And when you have longer, more worded questions, you can put the numbers to the side that you're going to be working with so that you can plug in when you're ready. Okay, but go ahead and give this a try. I'll go ahead and give you a second to pause and work out the math. Okay, so we're back. So I'm hoping that you did this the same way. Our desired dose is 500 milligrams. That is our ordered dose that we converted. What we have on hand is 250 milligram tabs. Okay, your vehicle is going to be times 1 tab. Simply put, what you do here is you can cancel out your milligrams, and you should have hopefully been left with the number 2. Okay, don't forget to go back to the question and make sure you answered it all, and make sure that you labeled your answer. If all you did was leave this at 2, you're going to get the answer wrong. What you want to make sure that you do is you label 2 tabs, and that should be your answer. Easy peasy, right? Let's try another one. So now we got the easy part out of the way. Let's get a little bit more difficult. Calculations using body weight is a little different. Now we can still use basic formula, but not right away. So here's an example, okay? What you'll notice here is the additional information. We now have a dose per kilogram in our order. So now we have to look for weight somewhere, which is at the end here. We have a child that weighs 20 pounds, right? So first thing, guys, we have to convert. What I want you guys to remember is that 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. And the rule of thumb here is quite simple. When you have pounds and you need to convert, divide down, okay? If it helps you think about it, pounds is heavier than kilograms, so your number for kilograms should be lighter, right? So let's try this out. So what we're going to do, what we want to convert is we want to convert the child's weight in pounds to kilograms, okay? I'll let you stop and do the math. Okay, if you did the math correctly, you should come up with 9 kilograms. So our child is now 9 kilograms. Now we have something that we can work with, right? Everything matches. So now we're going to use the body weight formula. Our body weight formula is simply the dose times the weight times the frequency. And you're really just plugging in numbers here. So the numbers that you're going to plug in are going to be 20 milligrams per kilogram, okay? Now we have this per kilogram, per meaning times 9 kilograms per 1 day, okay? Now, as you're working, if you're continuing to, label with your units of measurement, things should fall off. Your kilograms will fall off. I'll stop here, we'll pause, and I'll let you do the math. Okay, if you did the math correctly, you should have 180 milligrams per day. But we're not done yet, okay, guys, because what it says up here, again, go back to the question, we're looking for 3 divided doses. So we're giving this medication 3 times a day. So if what you want to do now is take a guess, we're going to divide by 3, okay? What we're going to do here, I'll stop and let you do the math. You should come up with 60 milligrams per dose. And the reason why I write per dose is just so that I understand exactly what it is that I'm doing, okay? You don't necessarily have to write it. You kind of know at this point 180 milligrams in the entire day divided by 3 is 3 solid doses. You're going to give 60 milligrams. Done, right? No, we're not. Okay. Again, go back to the question and make sure that you're answering exactly what it's asking you. Okay. What we're missing here is per ml. How many mLs should this child get? So that's what the question is asking. Per dose, how many mLs does the child get? So now we're going to go a step further. And now we're going to use our basic formula. And I'll let you go ahead. I'll pause here, or you can pause here and try your math. Okay, so we're back. Our desired dose is 60 milligrams. Okay, remember this is per dose now. Over what we have is 125 milligrams per 5 ml. So that's your vehicle dose desired over have times vehicle. If you did your math correctly and you plugged everything in, you should equal 2.4 mLs 3 times a day. That is your final answer, guys. So IM calculations work pretty well with basic formula as well. I'll let you work this problem out first, and then we can walk through it. Hey, I'm back. All right. Well, first, what you want to do, I'm hoping that the first thing that you did was check your dosages. Okay. You want to check your conversions as well. In this particular case, both the order and what's on hand are the same unit of measurement, so there's no need to convert. So we can actually just dive right into our desired over half times vehicle formula, okay? So if you did this correctly, you should have had 60 milligrams is your desired dose, over 80 milligrams, which is what you have on hand, times 2 mLs, because that's the vehicle. If you multiply across, and this is something that you can do as well as multiplying across, you'll get 120 milligrams per ml over 80 milligrams. All I'm doing here, guys, is just showing you a different way to do things. If you cancel these out and you divide, you should be left with 1.5 ml. Okay, if you got it right, congratulations. If you didn't, just take a quick look at this and make sure that you followed all the correct steps. Now, let's try this problem out and see if we agree, okay? I'm gonna, again, let you pause here and go ahead and work out your problem. Okay, so hopefully you guys converted your units first. Again, we're looking at milligrams and micrograms. So what we want to do first is we want to convert these numbers, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to convert what we want to what we have. Okay, this should equal out to 500 micrograms. Okay, once we're done here, the second thing that we're going to do now, we have all of our matches. We're going to desired over have times vehicle equals, okay, our 500 micrograms over 400 micrograms times our mLs here is 1. It's per ml, okay? We should get 1.25 mLs, right? Easy peasy. Check to see what the question is asking one more time. We know it's IM, so it has to be in liquid form. mL should be the correct measurement here. If you got this right, congratulations. If you didn't, just take a quick look and see exactly where you might have gone wrong. So some quick key points to review. Now remember to always read the question and be sure you understand what it's asking for so you have your goal set. Okay, basic formula can be used pretty much everywhere at some point. Now understand what numbers you should be using. Okay, when you work with weight, the one thing that you can count on is converting pounds and kilograms. Okay, this is the only time that you can convert what the order says. So remember, when you have weight in pounds, divide down. And last but not least, it never hurts anyone to take a quick look back and check your work. I can't stress this more than I already have. Be sure to take a look back. So that's it. We love you guys. Now go out and be your best self today. And as always, happy